Ideally, the map and gameplay of NFL Battlefield would be optimized through the use of an online app. However, NFL Battlefield could also be played in person with a stack of player cards, some dice, and a few equations. After rolling the dice to determine who will receive the kickoff, you would need to play a kick return card. Here we can see you have two options in our stack, and one has a higher value, based on a specific equation from the player's previous season stats. This is a card you would want to play. After you roll the dice, you would take a look and see that your opponent played a kicker card with a kickoff punt value based on an equation using the player's previous season stats. So, starting from the 30, the ball is kicked 62 yards and then run back 25 yards, with the kicking team winning the dice roll by 2 and therefore setting the offense 2 yards back. This brings up 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line, and normal gameplay. The first thing you want to do is to pick a play call from 7 different options, keeping in mind that you would not be allowed to play the same play twice in a row, and, depending on your opponent's play call choice, will result in added or lost yards on the final outcome of the play. Once a play call has been chosen, you would then choose a quarterback card, again keeping in mind that you cannot play the same card in consecutive plays. So, if a run play has been chosen, you may want to save your Tom Brady with a pass play value of 25, determined by a specific equation using stats from the player's previous season for a possible passing situation on the next play, and instead play your Tim Tebow with a higher run value. After choosing a quarterback card, you will also need to choose a quarterback action designation, either a quick snap, a hard count, or a drop back. That will be matched up against a defensive anchor action designation to determine extra yards lost or gained on the play. To go along with your quarterback, you would also choose a combination of 3 tight end, running back, or wide receiver cards, not to exceed 2 of the same type, as well as an action designation for each player. Once you have your picks locked in, roll the dice, and await the outcome. Or so would be the case if played over the web. But, to manually score the play, you would first note the offensive play call type. In the case of a run play, you would add the run values from your quarterback to that of your 3 flex players to get a total run score for the play. Your total run value would then be put up against the total run value compiled by the defense, figured by adding a defensive anchor card's run value determined by a specific equation using the player stats from the previous season, and the 3 other flex defensive play cards' run values together. The defensive value is then subtracted from the offensive total to determine a preliminary outcome. In this case, we see that it is a tie, meaning the play initially results in no yards gained or lost. After finding an initial value, you would then take into account the play call made and determine any additional yards lost or gained on the play. In addition to the play call values, you would need to take into account the player action indicators for each player and determine any more additional yards gained or lost on the play. The total from the play call matchup and the player action designation matchups would then be added or subtracted to or from the initial total to get a pre-dice result. The final step in scoring the play would be to take into account the dice. Unless either player rolls snake eyes or double sixes, the defender's roll would be subtracted from the offensive team's roll to determine the number of yards gained or lost at the end of the play. After the dice are added to the play, we see that 5 yards have been lost on the play, leaving us with a 2nd and 15 to go, and the game would then continue as such.